Okay, the Ukraine flu. Here is a report from Infowars Ireland. Ukraine virus mixture of H1N1 and parainfluenza causes cardiopulmonary failure, indicates bioweapon. And there's a discussion by a doctor in this article, and also references to other sources. From what I've gathered so far, there are reports that it is 3 forms of influenza in one, or that it is a combination of influenza and parainfluenza. I'll put some links up for you. I've also mentioned this in my previous videos. Now, it appears that the Ukraine flu is spreading into other European countries. I've heard reports that it's in Poland, also I believe Serbia, and definitely Norway. Signs: swine flu wave may have peaked in US. It seems to start off on a positive note, but if you read the article and you go lower down into it, in Norway, Norway reported finding a mutated virus in 3 people who died or were severely ill. The mutation, known as D222G on the receptor binding domain, allow the virus to grow deeper in the lungs. Okay, so this is not the typical H1N1 swine flu that we've been having since the spring. This is a mutated or different version that goes deeper into the lungs. They do mention also that this mutation was also found in milder cases in several countries, and it did not make the virus resistant to vaccine or to treatment with drugs like tamiflu. Well, vaccine, well, it's yet to be seen how well this vaccine will work for anybody. So if you remember the podcast from the Council on Foreign Relations where they were discussing how to fake a shortage, they also mentioned that the virus was missing a particular gene that would allow it to go deep into the lungs, as what the 1918 flu did. Well, according to reports now, the virus has mutated, supposedly, at least in some cases, so it goes deeper into the lungs. Also, this is called here the D222G, but it is apparently the same thing as D225G. So meanwhile, in Canada, we've had a really big surge in what are apparently H1N1 deaths. We had this report in the Vancouverite on the 13th of November, Ontario's deadly swine flu surge, 24 dead in 72 hours. This is from the Vancouverite. Swine flu surge, 18 more die in Ontario, 22 in Alberta, 2 in BC. This is as of the 20th of November. So we're having more deaths in Canada, especially in Ontario for some reason. A lot of it's happening in Ontario that are being attributed to H1N1. It's possible that it's regular H1N1 and these are people with underlying conditions. It is flu season. It's possible that these susceptible people are dying from the H1N1 flu that we've had since this spring. Or because now people are not always being tested for H1N1 and deaths are being attributed without having been confirmed. So it's possible that some of these people did not actually die of H1N1. They might have died of another flu, another respiratory illness, or parainfluenza or something like that. We don't know. Or it's possible that this Ukraine mutation has appeared in Canada. I'm not saying this has happened, I'm just saying these are some possibilities. As of now, I haven't seen any reports that the deaths in Canada were associated with the kind of findings they had in the deaths in Europe, such as blood in the lungs. Okay, here's a very disconcerting article from KCCI 8 Des Moines News. It says, Polk coroner, H1N1 deaths understated. Okay, what's so disconcerting about this article is that they had an interview with a doctor, and the video is available I'll put the link. This doctor was saying that the deaths are understated. They had 21 official deaths, but they're finding also, quote, in the autopsy, what we're seeing is very heavy, wet, hemorrhagic lungs with a lot of blood in them. Alright, if you look at the video, what's very strange is that he's saying that these deaths, which were not confirmed to be H1N1 related, although they did all kinds of tests, and he's saying the tests they can have a false positive, they can be hard to do, giving a number of reasons. But the thing is, they did test these people. They did not turn out positive for H1N1. He's just giving a lot of reasons for why the test could be false negatives. But the fact is, they didn't come up positive. He's saying that these people had typical symptoms of H1N1, but if you look at all reports of H1N1, You don't find hemorrhagic events in the lungs as being a typical symptom of swine flu. What you get is people who are obese, diabetic, have underlying conditions, and they have a viral pneumonia or a bacterial co-infection. That was actually one of the things that a lot of them got the flu and then got bacterial pneumonia. Some of them maybe also had viral pneumonia, but they had water in their lungs. And never have I heard of reports of people with swine flu in North America having blood in their lungs. Okay, maybe I just missed this, but I've been following this for a long time. I've not heard this. So what we're getting here is the doctor saying these people did not test positive for H1N1, but they had typical H1N1 symptoms. But these symptoms really, if you look at everything else that's been reported on this, are not typical. What they are typical of is the kind of disease that's been occurring in the Ukraine, which has been, and in Norway, which has been found now to be a mutated form of H1N1, or a possibly biological weapon, because it's a combination of 3 viruses, either 3 flus or 2 flus and a parainfluenza. So this is concerning because it's apparently occurring possibly in the States now, and it's still being attributed to H1N1, which is kind of misleading because there's a vaccine right now for the regular H1N1 flu, and people might think that by getting this vaccine they're going to be protected. Okay, here's the problem. I've mentioned this before. H1N1 is not a particular subtype of flu. It's just a type. Okay, you have A, B, C, and within A you have H3N2 and H2N2, H1N1, and those are just typical seasonal flus that go into those categories. So you can have, H1N1, and then the name of the place where it was first detected, okay? And there are really hundreds of them, hundreds of subtypes of H1N1. So H1N1 on its own means very little. What matters with the vaccine is whether it's matched to the subtype. Okay, so if this is not the same subtype, according to the article in the Lancet, you should not have immunity. If you catch H1N flu naturally, you'll have immunity to other subtypes, according to this article, this study. But if you are vaccinated for one subtype, you will only have immunity to that subtype. And it's only temporary immunity. Natural immunity can last, decades. But vaccine immunity, 6 months, maybe a year, but that's it. You're not really that protected. So, meanwhile, in the media, the H1N1 flu in general is being downplayed a lot. Maybe people's guard's really going to be down, and then when, oh no, it's a viral hemorrhagic H1N1 type disease, better go get your shots. People are going to rush back out and get the shots. Oh, the government was right, Another thing that I had noticed a little while ago, an article saying that the U.S. government had decided to release the last stockpiles of liquid Tamiflu for children because the children are getting a lot of H1N1, although we know that deaths this year in children are not higher than they were the year before. If you take the whole year, it's higher, but that's actually including 2 flu seasons, so don't be deceived when you see that data. Okay, you have to go by flu season. By flu season at this time, it's actually lower. Same thing here in Montreal. Okay, now if this virus mutates, and it is an influenza virus, you're going to need that Tamiflu. So what they're doing is they're releasing the last stockpiles of liquid Tamiflu for children, which it is poisonous, but, if you got a viral hemorrhagic disease on your hands, you might have to resort to these kind of poisonous medications for lack of options. They're releasing it. So what's going to happen when this much more virulent form hits? People are not protected by the vaccine, and we've got no more liquid Tamiflu for the children. Are these people stupid? I mean, who put these people in charge? You really gotta wonder sometimes, well, okay, we know that they're not stupid. They know damn well what they're doing.